Minasan konnichiwa. Watashi wa Isho desu. Hi everyone, I'm Isho Lewe, and today I'm gonna talk about the Japan country. So let's get started. Japan. Nihon is an island country in East Asia, located in the Northwest Pacific Ocean. More exactly, it's an archipelago or a string of islands with almost 6,852 islands. Only 4 islands out of all of them make up the majority of Japan's land area. The islands Honshu, Kyushu, Shikoku, and Hokkaido make up 97% of the country's total land area. The largest of the 4 major islands is Honshu, which is also the 7th largest island in the world. Honshu is home to Tokyo and many of Japan's other largest cities, including Yokohama, Osaka, Nagoya, Kobe, Kyoto, Hiroshima, etc. Hokkaido, the 2nd largest Japanese island and northernmost prefecture, accounts for nearly a quarter of Japan's arable land. Hokkaido leads in the production of seafood and a host of agricultural products, including soybeans, wheat, corn, beef, and raw milk. Sapporo is the Hokkaido capital city. Kyushu is the 3rd largest and most southern of Japan's 4 main islands. It is the site of Japan's most active volcanoes. In addition, several cities with important historical, political, and commercial significance, including Nagasaki, Kagoshima, and Fukuoka. Well, Japan is slightly smaller than the state of California in the USA or slightly bigger than Germany. Japan can be a dangerous place since it is located in a volcanic zone of the Pacific Ring of Fire, a nearly continuous series of ocean trench, volcanic arcs, and shifting tectonic plates. The Pacific Rings of Fire accounts for more than 75% of the world's active volcanoes and 90% of the world's earthquakes. In total, you can find 110 active volcanoes in Japan. Some of these are closely monitored and watched by scientists because they think there is a chance of an eruption. 3 of the tectonic plates that form Earth's crust meet nearby and often move against each other, causing earthquakes. Of course, most of these earthquakes are small, tiny earthquakes, but large and devastating earthquakes do happen once in a while. Now let's move on to the political. Japan is the only country in the world with a reigning emperor. Emperor of Japan doesn't hold much power, but they are still revered as a symbol of the country's tradition and unity. The current emperor of Japan is Naruhito, who took the position on May 1, 2019, after his father Emperor Akihito renounced his throne on April 30, 2019. These are the pictures of Naruhito family and Akihito. The first picture is the Emperor Palace, which is situated in Tokyo, and this is the main residence of the Emperor family. Japan's government is the constitutional monarchy with a parliamentary democracy. It has the cabinet that is composed of the prime minister and the ministers of state, who have executive power. This is the picture of the current Prime Minister of Japan. Next is national symbols of Japan. Here, this is the national flags of Japan. Red circle represents sunrise and vitality, and the white represents honesty and purity. Cherry blossoms is the national flower, and green pheasant is the national bird. Yang is the national currency, koto is the national instrument, jade is the national stones, and persimmon is the Japanese national fruit. Economy. Japan is the 3rd largest economy in the world after the US and China. World War II devastated Japan's economy, but the Japanese people's hard work and clever innovation turned it around, making it the third largest economy in the world. The main trading partners of Japan are the USA, China, South Korea, and Australia. The main export product of Japan is known for the production of motor vehicles, electronics, robotics, and mobile games. Here are some of the biggest companies in Japan. They are Toyota, Mitsubishi, Honda, and Sony. I think all of you guys already know these brands. The unemployment rate in Japan is very low, but still more than 15% of the Japanese population live under very poor conditions. Well, next part is about seasons and seasonal flowers. There are 4 seasons in Japan. Each season lasts for 3 months. Haru spring is from March to May. Natsu summer is from June to August. September to November is Aki autumn, and December to January is Fuyu winter. You may think that there isn't rainy season, but there is a rainy season that lasts for about 6 weeks from early to midsummer. In April, sakura and cherry blossom. In summertime, various kinds of flowers blossom. Around November, you can see the kinds of maple leaves. In Japan, they call mominji leaves. In winter, there is no special flower blossom, just the snowfall. Japanese culture. Japan has a population of around 1 to 6.5 million people, which is less than half of the population of the United States. Moreover, it is the 11th largest population in the world. Shinto and Buddhism are the primary religions of Japan, but non-religious are also numbered in. Shinto focusing ceremonies and rituals present throughout nature, rocks, trees, and mountains. Buddhism in concern with the cycle of rebirth and karma. Here, I like to share some random Japanese customs. You have to take off shoes at home or religious places. Be polite to older people. In Japan, it is polite to greet one another by bowing. Here, bows are classified into 3 categories, namely the formal, very formal, and informal. While the formal bows are made at a shorter angle of 15 degrees, the very formal ones involve bending at an angle of 30 degrees. Here, the deepest bows signify more respect. Tipping is now common in Japan and can even be considered rude, because the employee they already have minimum wage. Minimum wage in Japan is more higher than most of the United States. Japanese people say itadakima before eating meals to thank to farmers for making the food. After eating meals, they say gochiso-sama deshita, means the meal was delicious and appreciated. The Japanese have strong family ties and deep respect for authority. Language and festival. Japanese or Nihongo is the official language in Japan. Nihongo is spoken by million people worldwide. Nowadays, it is the 11th most common language in the world. It is also spoken as second language by the Chinese and Korean people who lived under Japanese occupation in the last century. The Japanese language is complex, but there are no singular and plural forms. Furthermore, no articles are used as in English. 4 writing systems are used in daily Japanese life: Romaji, Hiragana, Katakana, and the kanji. The biggest challenge is learning to write the kanji characters. Japanese are workaholic, that is why they only have 10 days of vacation in 1 year, but sometimes they don't even use the chances. In addition, the Japanese holidays are much shorter than in most countries around the world, and even during holidays and weekends, many Japanese students go to school for clubs, activities, and extra lessons. Japanese celebrate many festivals. Among them, the most popular in springtime to celebrate is the Spring Flower Festival and the Cherry Blossom. Wow, look at the pictures. How beautiful are the flowers. The Gion Matsuri festival in July is celebrated in Kyoto when the Japanese people dress in traditional kimonos. The patterns on kimono change with the seasons to reflect the seasonal change in nature. The Japanese cuisine. The Japanese diet consists mainly of rice, fish, soy products, vegetables, but little meat, with little fat or dairy. This diet is very healthy, which helps Japanese people live on average longer than any other people in the world. Well, here are some popular Japanese dishes: sushi and sashimi, ramen, udon, shabu-shabu hotpot, curry rice soups, tempura, onigiri, okonomiyaki, miso soup, and mochi. For the last part, I like to share some attraction places in Tokyo and Kyoto. Tokyo is the capital city of Japan. In Tokyo, you can have fun at Disneyland, hiking to the highest mountain in Japan named Mount Fuji or Fujiyama, visiting to the oldest Buddhist temple Sansoji and Nakamise Market, strolling around the Imperial Palace and its garden, seeing the views from the Tokyo Skytree, the country's tallest structure, or enjoying the nature and art at the Meiji Shrine. Kyoto, the imperial capital of Japan for over 10,000 years, and is the heart of traditional Japanese culture. This is the end of my presentation, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Arigatou gozaimashita!